In the dark corridors of my mind, where the shadow of an unknown fear lingered, unfolds a story, dreadful and mysterious, as if torn from the darkest pages of Stephen King's imagination. On that evening, when it all began, rain pounded against the windows, as if cursing our home. I sat in my isolated world, surrounded by walls of darkness, absolute and profound. My daughter, little Emily, played in her room with dolls. I disliked those silent, lifeless eyes that seemed to watch every move, as if waiting for a moment to spring a trap. But for Emily, they were a source of joy, her little friends in this big and frightening world. Emily possessed the ability to communicate with them as if they were alive. I could hear her cheerful conversations from her room. However, something changed over time. Something dark and ominous crept into our home. One night, in the half-light of the room, I heard a whisper, indistinct, barely discernible, yet unsettling. "Burn them," the shadow whispered, like a snake sneaking into my mind. "Burn them before it's too late." It was something more than mystical. Dark dreams and visions made me uneasy, but I suppressed my fear, considering it a product of my own imagination. Days passed and nights grew darker. Every night, Emily would wake from nightmares, claiming that the dolls came to life in her dreams and whispered something in her ear. I tried to reassure her, saying it was just nightmares, but the whisper in my head persisted. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. My mind was consumed by paranoia, a fear that led me to madness. On a dark night, when the rain poured relentlessly, I stormed into Emily's room. She lay in bed, surrounded by the dolls I despised. "Mom, you're whispering again," she whispered, her eyes filled with fear. I felt my mind drifting in a turbulent river of senselessness. "Burn them," the whisper repeated, this time so clear that the words pierced me like a knife. Following this command, I grabbed all the dolls she loved and took them outside. The rain poured and the wind howled like ghosts, condemning my act. I set the dolls ablaze. Watching as the fire consumed their lifeless bodies, Emily stood by the window, crying and begging me to stop. But I was deaf to her pleas. Like under the influence of some demon, I continued this insane ritual, sinking deeper into darkness with each passing second. When the last doll turned to ashes, I realized that something horrible had happened. The shadow in my mind vanished, but I understood that it was even more terrifying. I looked at Emily, her eyes filled with pain and disappointment. She couldn't comprehend how a mother, supposed to protect, could commit such a nightmarish act. The nights after that became even darker. My sleep became restless, full of nightmares, and in each one, I saw charred dolls rising from the ashes to exact revenge for my insane sacrifice. Emily disappeared from my life. She no longer spoke to me. Her eyes dimmed as if a light had gone out. I lost her, not just burning her dolls, but also her trust.